Michael would not turn that album in until he was convinced that it was perfect. And then in classic Michael fashion, as soon as the second single was released, Beat It, he let everybody go from his team. He just felt he wanted to run this business himself with the help of myself. And Michael had a marketing genius that sometimes people don't understand.
At Sony, I've generated several $1 billion for Sony. They really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing. They never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them.
Show you all along. In 1990, Michael Jackson terminated John Branca's services due to perceived proximity to Walter Yetnikoff. In 2009, he left behind an estate that was over $500 million in debt. But who was in charge of that? Not Michael. John Branca. Supposedly rehired by Michael just 2 weeks prior to his passing.
Hi everyone, welcome to another conspiracy theory video. And yes, today we're finally going to be talking about Michael Jackson and John Branca. I want to start this by putting a huge disclaimer. I am not trying to get in trouble with this video. I know I'm a smaller YouTube channel, you know, smaller Michael Jackson / Queen YouTube channel, but I just want to say that all of this is alleged. Okay, I have some pretty strong opinions about what I'm going to talk about as a big Michael Jackson fan and as someone that has heard Michael talk about certain things I'm going to be mentioning in this video when it comes to his music and selling music and buying catalogs and all kinds of things. I have some very strong opinions, and y'all are more than welcome to, of course, have your opinions and sound off in the comments. But for the sake of my channel not getting in trouble, all of this is alleged. We're going to be talking about a lot of different elements with John and Michael's relationship and their professional relationship especially. So now that that disclaimer is out of the way, let's go ahead and begin. So this is from Michael Jackson Wiki. There's a lot of stuff you can find on there. I'm going to read a brief summary about Michael and John's relationship from this website. So John's full name is John Gregory Branca Jr. He was born on December 11th, 1950 in Bronxville, New York, in the US. He's a lawyer and talent manager, and he has been active for a pretty long time, 1975 to now. He's an American lawyer and talent manager who worked with Michael Jackson for many years. He's currently the co-executor of the Michael Jackson estate alongside John McClane. So John's work with Michael Jackson is listed here. His most notable work can be found mostly on the albums Michael and Escape, which there's already some controversy going on with what I've just read for a lot of Michael Jackson fans. A lot of Michael fans are not thrilled with the way that John has managed the estate. Out of him and the other John McClane, he is the most active on social media. The Michael and Escape albums have definitely received a lot of backlash. I mean, several reasons why. Already not off to a great start for hardcore Michael fans, but we continue. Other works are You Are My Life, Love Never Felt So Good, This Is It, Behind the Mask, Hot Fun in the Summertime, which is unreleased, and then Much Too Soon. John McClane is an American music executive, songwriter, and a producer. He is the current co-executor of the Michael Jackson estate and helped produce multiple songs by Michael Jackson. When did John and Michael start working with each other and come to know each other? He was hired by Jackson as his lawyer in the early 1980s. Most notably, he helped with the production and release of Michael Jackson's Thriller and bought the Sony ATV Music Publishing in 1985. Thanks to this, Jackson gained the rights to the Beatles catalog, which a lot of people credit John and say that, you know, Michael couldn't have done this without him. Y'all let me know what you think of that in the comments. It was obviously a huge victory for him, and Michael owned that all day long. He was proud of it, and rightfully so. Later, Jackson and John were known to have had disagreements. To put it simply. In earlier years, John was fired by Jackson. The departure between the two was never mutual. Yeah, that's definitely something that is heavily discussed when it comes to John currently having a lot of control with the MJ estate. The fact that they had disagreements, and one that is pretty intense, and it's a document that I will be showing you. So this has led to a lot of discourse of how did we go from many disagreements between Michael and John of how Michael's music should be handled, what the estate should put out, what they shouldn't put out. And now John has a lot of control after this, suddenly after Michael's passing. In 2005, the manager filed a UCC financing statement against Jackson and his trust. In short, he put Jackson in risk of bankruptcy. It is said that during the People versus Jackson trial, Jackson investigated John on his own, as he didn't trust either him or Sony Music. And we already know Michael for sure did not trust Sony Music, but we will get more into Michael not trusting John in just a little bit. It is also reported a note exists of Jackson saying, "Don't trust John." After Jackson's passing, John and McLean became co-executors of the Michael Jackson estate on July 1st, 2009. So very soon after Michael's passing. I'm not trying to start anything, but Michael passed on June 25th, 2009. July 1st, 2009, boom. I mean, I know they've got to give it to someone pretty quickly, but now this is going to talk about Michael Jackson's fans. This is absolutely true. As a Michael Jackson fan, I'm sure you already know what I'm about to say about the criticism we have given towards the MJ estate, which is completely valid. I'm sorry. The criticism is valid in my opinion. Jackson's fans frequently expressed criticism over John over the years, primarily focusing on the perception that the estate hasn't done enough to preserve and honor Michael's legacy. Many fans argue that certain decisions made under John's co-executorship have not fully aligned with Jackson's artistic vision or personal values. In my very strong opinion, that is absolutely true, but that's my opinion. One of the most contentious points raised by fans in John's role as co-executor of the Michael Jackson estate, despite well-documented issues, which we're going to get into, between Michael and John during the former's lifetime. These issues include claims that Jackson terminated John's services as his attorney and expressed mistrust towards him. The history has led to ongoing skepticism among fans regarding John's suitability for such a critical role in managing Jackson's legacy and assets. I'm going to include a few clips in here of John talking about Michael and the MJ estate. So here you go. Do what you will with this footage.
It was called ATV Music. Had Little Richard, the Beatles. So I called up Michael and I said, "ATV's for sale. What's that?" I said, "The Beatles." Well, he went crazy, and it took us a year to get that catalog. The Beatles lost it in some tax scheme. So this guy owned it, and he wanted to sell it because he wanted to finance movies. So Michael had an investment committee, and everybody said we were going to pay too much. Don't buy it. And Michael slipped me a note, which I still have. "Branca, don't negotiate. This is my catalog." And our top offer at the time was $47.5. And I get a call from Holmes Court. "I'll pay your ticket if you'll come to London." So I went to London. I promised him that Michael would show up at his charity event in Perth, Australia to close the deal. And we signed the deal. My best estimate that over the course of the deal, Michael earned over $1.5 billion.
Tell me about the music catalog, the publishing catalog that you advised Michael to buy.
We started with the Sly and the Family Stone catalog. We bought some rock classics, People Get Ready by Curtis Mayfield, Dion the Belmonts' Runaround Sue, The Wanderer, When a Man Loves a Woman, Great Balls of Fire, Shake, Rattle, and Roll. But then one day I got the call that the Beatles catalog was for sale. It was called ATV Music. And it was as if we'd hit the mother lode. Price was $47.5 million, and we later merged it with Sony's music publishing company to create one of the biggest publishers in the world, Sony ATV Music, that the estate to this day owns 50% of. Pierce, we're fortunate to represent Michael Jackson, which makes our job an easy one in some senses. But I think the first thing we did is we made a decision to greenlight This Is It, the motion picture. And I will say at the time we were criticized. People, some family members said, Michael wouldn't want these rehearsal tapes out there. Went on to become the biggest documentary and the biggest concert film of all time. And I think we converted even new followers for Michael.
When I interviewed Jermaine Jackson recently, he said that there were lots of outtakes from that film, which if people saw those, they would be concerned about Michael's fragility, his fragile condition. What would you say to that?
I'm not sure if that's true or not. I think with any artist, they have their great days and they have off days. That's the nature of rehearsal. So I have not seen all the outtakes.
There have been people on Reddit, of course. I always bring Reddit into it, but people make valid points on there, in my opinion. So this comment says, this is from 3 years ago. This person says, allegedly, all I know is that John represented Sony behind Michael's back during his purchase of the ATV catalog and was the main reason the whole fight with Sony and sabotage of Invincible happened, because of course Michael was also dealing with the public outrage because of these allegations made against him and this hatred that the public had for him. So that was absolutely a component. But also, there's other reasons, in my personal opinion, that Invincible didn't do as well as it should have. And let me just say, Invincible's finally getting the recognition it always deserved, in my opinion, in the past few years. But at this time, it was just going really bad. And I don't, in my personal opinion, think it was just from the allegations that were against Michael. Add the debacle to that, plus the estate's general laziness since Michael's death, doesn't create a very flattering image of the man. I think fans are just glad they're finally getting something. And I mean, unfortunately, that has become the reality for a lot of these estates and their way of handling things. Like, we're begging for crumbs sometimes. Now, this is the document that I was referring to earlier when I said there has been, allegedly, some documented proof. Says discontinuance of services. Dear John, this is to confirm that I'm terminating the services of you and your firm effective upon delivery of this letter. I have engaged David G. LeGrand, his firm, Hale, Lane, Peak, Dennison, and Howard, along with Booth, Michael, and Strange to represent my interests. I have also retained Paul Hastings to represent certain of my international interests. You are hereby requested to comply with the requests made of you and your firm in order to have an immediate and orderly termination of your services. You are commanded to give LeGrand, Ms. Brandt, and their associates your full and unconditional cooperation. I have asked Mr. LeGrand and Ms. Brandt to obtain all of my files, records, documents, accounts for myself and all companies I own or control which may be in your possession. You are to deliver the originals of all such documents to Mr. LeGrand immediately. He will arrange copies to be returned to you. You are commanded to immediately cease expending effort of any kind on my behalf other than in direct cooperation with Mr. LeGrand and at his specific request. You are further directed to execute any and all documents reasonably required of you by Mr. LeGrand and Ms. Brandt to transfer control over any and all files of mine or any business of mine in accordance with their instructions. I am also engaging the services of a new management company, and you are to have no further discussion with Barry Siegel or Provident Financial Management with regard to my legal affairs. Mr. Siegel and Provident Financial Management no longer represent the interests of me or my business I own or control. You are specifically instructed to immediately transfer any funds you are holding in trust for me to Mr. LeGrand. I expect your full and complete cooperation with my new management company, Mr. LeGrand, Ms. Brandt, or any other professionals under their direction to assist in their understanding my financial affairs, legal affairs, and preparation of tax returns. You and your firm will be compensated at your ordinary and customary hourly rates for any such future assistance. Kindly deliver to Mr. Legrand my invoice for your services through the date of this letter when convenient. And here it is signed Michael Jackson. Now, something about this signature, I'm just saying this is a theory and this is alleged. A lot of people say that this signature looks legit. It is Michael Jackson's signature. But then people look at this document. So that is a huge theory that a lot of Michael Jackson fans have, that this is not even Michael's signature, that this was done by someone that isn't Michael. And that's all that I have to say about that. I don't want to get too much into that, but you can be the judge on what you think about this and form your own opinion. Obviously now, John has a lot of control. A lot of people have said that they really hope that Prince Jackson, Michael's son, will eventually take over the estate. And I know a lot of people say don't mix business with family. At the same time, I think I'd be slightly more content with Prince Jackson taking it over, but also I understand the argument that business and family don't always mix. But you guys let me know what you think and how you feel about John based on clips I've shown and these alleged documents I have shown, and Michael's speaking of Sony and the Beatles catalog situation and Michael's music catalog and just the chaos that came with all of that. So let me know what you think. Again, this is all alleged, this is all theories. I'm not trying to get in trouble. I'm just trying to have a conversation about this because there is a lot going on with it and it is a big topic in the Michael Jackson community, so I'm bringing it on here for this month of spooky season. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching and I will see you guys in the next conspiracy theory video. Bye, guys.